Hello, I am Atul Mathur, and today I am going to narrate to you my article titled Time is Life. This article is available in text on my LinkedIn profile. Looking at the book's price, $30, and its thickness, 1000 pages, I instantly knew where this book belonged to. Back on the shelf of the bookstore. About 5 years ago, during one of those casual visits to a local bookstore, this was my brief encounter with a book titled My Life, the autobiography of former US President Bill Clinton. But in the few minutes my life was in my hands, it ended up introducing me to another, much cheaper and thinner book that I had never heard of. Published 40 years back, the book titled How to Get Control of Your Time and Your Life by Alan Lakin is too old a book to be found in bookstores or libraries. And certainly, you are unlikely to find anyone talking about it except one person, former US President Bill Clinton. On the very first page of his autobiography, Bill Clinton writes, "When I was a young man just out of law school and eager to get on with my life, on a whim, I briefly put aside my reading preferences for fiction and history and bought one of those how-to books, How to Get Control of Your Time and Your Life by Alan Lakin. The book's main point was the necessity of listing short, medium, and long-term life goals and then categorizing them in the order of their importance, with A group being the most important, the B group next, and the C the last, and then listing under each goal specific activities designed to achieve them." I still have that paperback book, now almost 30 years old, and I'm sure I have that old list somewhere buried in my papers, though I can't find it. However, I do remember the A list. I wanted to be a good man, have a good marriage and children, have good friends, make a successful political life, and write a great book. After reading this paragraph in Clinton's autobiography, I left President Clinton and his book aside and instead got curious about that unknown guy named Alan Lakin. Now, this is a brief review of Alan Lakin's timeless book, How to Get Control of Your Time and Your Life. Now, the time you will spend listening to this review would, of course, never come back to you. But maybe you will be well compensated for the little investment you are about to make. Why bother? Lakin begins the short 159-page book by setting the stage with a few hard-hitting statements, such as, "Time is life. It is irreversible and irreplaceable. To waste your time is to waste your life. But to master your time is to master your life and make the most of it. Now, who would dispute with Lacan's exhortation at the outset? But how do most people feel about their relationship with time? Capturing the general sentiments of the people around him, that is, about 40 years back, Lacan shares how most people felt then. I feel like I waste so much of my time doing things that are not really important to me, while my life is slipping away. I have so much to do. There is just not enough time for me to do it all. I am harassed, overworked, tired, and tense. I seem to be forever pushing myself and can't ever relax completely. I'm sure 40 years later, we can all relate to these statements. But before sharing his strategies for mastering time and life, Lacan clarifies the aim of the book is not to get super organized or super busy or super time conscious, but it is to enjoy more freedom by taking greater control of our time and life. So, how does one get there? According to him, learning to use time is like driving a car, a simple skill one can learn easily. Control starts with planning. After reminding readers of their struggle with managing time, Lacan shows the first card by emphasizing that planning is the key to controlling time. And he describes planning as bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. I found Lacan's definition of planning profound. He also highlights that planning is not an alien activity, and we all resort to planning when we are forced to. For example, when organizing a get together or planning a vacation. He writes, the basic resource that each person starts with is his lifetime. All the minutes, hours, days, and years that he is alive. It is only within this total framework that good time planning is possible. Then essentially, he breaks down planning into 4 steps. First, setting goals. Second, prioritizing goals. Third, deciding activities that support those goals. And fourth, scheduling the activities in our calendar. If there is one quick takeaway from this book, for me it is indeed planning is the key to controlling time. What do you really want from your life? To help readers get on with planning, in chapter 5, titled What Do You Really Want from Your Life?, Lacan poses the following heavyweight questions. What are your lifetime goals? How would you like to spend the next 3 or 5 years? If you knew now that you would be struck by lightning 6 months from today, how would you like to live until then? Personally, I find these questions really thought-provoking, but I would suggest that we start small. Instead of thinking lifetime goals or goals over next to 5 years, it is much better to start with thinking about What are my goals for today? Or what do I want to achieve over next 1 week? Or what are my goals for the next 1 month? Now, knowing that most people suffer from this problem, too busy to think of goals, Lakin suggests a very simple way out, and that is set your timer in your phone and spend exactly 2 minutes. Yes, just 2 minutes to write the answer to each of the questions like what do I want to achieve today? Or what are my goals for the next 1 week? Or what do I want to achieve over the next 1 month? And then spend another 2 minutes, only 2 minutes, to review your answers, and that's it. You have a list of your goals. When I tried Lakin's technique of creating an extreme time constraint, it turned out to be effective and fun too. Why? Due to the limited time, just 2 minutes, the rational, confusing mind got out of the way. And what truly mattered bubbled up. Using Lakin's 2-minute technique, you can also quickly get in touch with what really matters to you today, or over next 1 week, or over the next 1 month. And this goal setting can be done anytime over a cup of tea or coffee. So, what's the importance of this exercise? Lakin stresses a statement of goals will give direction to your life, and it will help you control your destiny. It will provide a measuring stick against which to gauge alternative activities as they come along. And you will reduce the unnecessary conflict you have over how to use your time. Setting priorities: drift, drown, or decide. One of the most important things I learned, well, not fully yet, from this book is setting priorities and not putting all goals and activities on the same platform. In fact, he has a chapter aptly titled Drift, Drown, or Decide, dedicated to the confusion we all face when juggling too many things. Writes Lakin, planning and making choices is often hard work. They involve careful thinking and decision making. In my opinion, no list is complete until it shows priorities. Whenever you make a list, finish the list by setting priorities. Write capital A to the left of those items on the list that have high value, a B for those with medium value, and a C for those with low values. Items A should be those that yield the most value. You get most out of your time by doing the A's first and saving B's and C's for later. Now, even President Clinton mentions Lakin's ABC technique in his autobiography. Next, goals are not actions. Once goals are set and categorized as A, B, and C, Lakin suggests readers to shift attention to actions that will help to achieve those goals. And here again, he suggests taking only 2 minutes, yes, 2 minutes, to list actions that will lead to those goals. And as before, he suggests doing the hard thing. prioritizing the actions as A1, A2, A3. At this stage, the book brings the readers to a list of goals and corresponding actions under each goal. Next, scheduling, key to real action. Having a list of goals and actions is not enough unless we recognize the importance of scheduling. He writes, scheduling means more than just fitting into the hours available all the things you must do, like meetings, appointments, deadlines. It also means making time for what you want to do, your A's. He writes further, the most important activity of the day is planning the activities of the day. And it should be done the first thing in the morning or the last thing the previous night. Similarly, he recommends Friday afternoon as the best time to review the week and plan activities for the following week. Next, avoiding procrastination. Swiss cheese technique. Even after setting clear goals and actions list, don't we sometimes procrastinate? Especially if the task is important but not urgent. Interestingly, Lakin's strategy to avoid procrastination is known as Swiss cheese technique. Usually, when faced with a big imposing task, like for example, writing a report or preparing a budget or reviewing a thick document, we often tend to avoid dealing with it heads on. And the escape routes include, but not limited to, checking inbox or making yet another cup of coffee or simply surfing the web. Lakin says we naturally repel from big and difficult and gravitate towards small and easy. And that's where comes his Swiss cheese technique. He suggests that instead of trying to bite a big piece of a huge project looming on our head, we should try to poke small holes by doing some instant tasks. He defines instant tasks as actions that are easy and short and yet contribute to the project. For example, if you have to write a big report and you have been procrastinating, just open the file in the computer first and simply write the title of the report and spend next 2 minutes reviewing some related information. By poking a series of small holes in a big project, one would feel less overwhelmed and slowly gain momentum. So let me conclude. If I have to summarize this article for you in Lakin's classic 2-minute mode, I would say, number 1, planning is the key to managing time. Number 2, planning is all about 3 simple steps: setting goals, identifying actions to support those goals, and then, very important, scheduling those actions in our calendar. Number 3, drift, drown, or decide. That is, never treat every goal with the same importance. Always set priorities. And finally, number 4, when facing a big imposing task, Remember his Swiss cheese technique. Try to poke small holes by first doing some short and easy tasks related to this big thing, and you will soon gain momentum. President Clinton found Lakin's book impactful enough to mention on the very first page of his autobiography. So looks like Lakin had a significant impact on his life. Now it is our chance to follow Lakin's timeless guidance to conquer our own challenges with time. Thanks for listening.